Hey guys, it's Jules here. I'm actually making this video on my phone right now because I'm at my grandma's house, but I just wanted to film this and update you guys a little bit on something really sad that's happened to me. I had to get my dermal removed, as I'm sure you're like, what is this band-aid on your face? Um, so basically, I guess I'll just tell you the story. My dermal just recently randomly started acting up and getting really red. Not anything too worrisome. Must have been 2 or 3 weeks. Honestly, it's been like feeling like it was gonna reject for a while ever since my chest dermals rejected. It started turning a little bit purple. If you ever had a dermal reject, you kind of know what I mean, where it gets a little bit like you can, not that you can see the foot underneath the skin because that's like really far into being rejected. Um, but like it just started to get a little bit discolored, and like that was a sure sign for me that it was going to start rejecting. So I had kind of had an idea that it was going to start rejecting, but I really hoped that it would just go away. But I think since I sleep on this side and since I had like a pretty big dermal top in it, I always had my like 3.5 4 millimeter opals that were kind of thick compared to being like flush to the skin. I think it pretty much just got irritated, and like long story short, it just started getting super red and almost a little bit flaky. Like the skin around it just looked really unhappy. And I went in, I went into the piercing shop that I got it done. Turns out I got it done 2.5 years ago. Just January, must have been 2012 or January 2013 is when I got my dermal done. So the same person who did it doesn't work at the shop anymore, but I asked their new piercer what he thought, and he just said apparently dermals can get buildup stuck underneath, and that if you take off the top, sometimes it's nice, it sounds really gross, but it'll like push out some of the stuff that's building up underneath the dermal. Um, excuse me. So I took off the dermal top and I just waited, but it just kept getting more red and more irritated. And since it is pretty close to my eye, I was just getting kind of worried, and I just knew that if I just left it, it was just going to keep getting irritated and not get better. And so I just came to the decision that I did need to remove it. Since I am in San Diego instead of back home, I did try and remove it myself because it did start rejecting a little bit more. I could see when I would like pinch it, I could see, kind of where the foot was at down at the bottom. And since I had these 3 chest dermals, this one got yanked out. And these 2 started rejecting, so I just pulled them out myself, and it wasn't hard. So I was like, well, sorry, I don't know what's like stuck in my throat right now. But since my chest dermals weren't hard to pull out myself, I looked online and I saw, you can go ahead and try and massage it out. It shouldn't be too hard. And I ended up getting one of the feet out and loose, and then the other one is just completely like scar tissue was locking it in because like I said, I've had it for 2.5 years. And so I went in with some really sharp tweezers because I don't have a scalpel or a needle. I know it's super bootleg and disgusting, and I really recommend not doing this at home because if you aren't careful, it can cause a lot of damage. If you go to the shop to have it removed, it's really cheap and they'll be able to do it quickly and honestly a lot less painfully. And you don't run the risk of getting such a big scar. But I didn't know if I was going to go to a shop here, and since I'm not going to be home for a couple of days, I just wanted to see if I could do it myself. Turns out I could only get one of the feet out, and so I just gave up after a while and just came to the conclusion that I was going to have to go to the shop and get it removed. But since I don't really know a lot of shops around here, I was kind of nervous to say the least. But I looked on Yelp, and a lot of the shops around where I am in San Diego have good reviews, and one of them actually is on the same street as my grandma's house. So I actually went over there just about an hour or 2 ago and had them remove it. They're all super sweet who work there. It's called Enigma in San Diego, the one on Adams Avenue. And they just went in, and I felt really bad because I didn't even have the top on it. So it's like asking them to do something kind of difficult, but he was super nice. He just screwed on, probably a threaded ball or something so that he could get a better grip. And he ended up having to like cut it a couple times at the scar tissue because I had seen that it was really thick scar tissue. But he ended up having to cut it a couple times, and then he just yanked it out. He kept apologizing, like, sorry, like, you're almost done, but I didn't feel it at all. Like, the biggest thing that I felt was really just him, like, putting pressure on my face. I guess I can show you. This is the first time taking off the Band-Aid. So that's what it looked like. It looks like it's pretty bloody because I just got it done, but you can tell it's not too bad on the whole. And I know dermals, once you take them out, they heal up super quick. It's just when you have the piece of metal in there and your body doesn't want it, it can be really hard to have it heal up, especially for me. So I am not worried about it healing at all. But basically, he just popped it out and put on a Band-Aid, and it was only $10. I tipped him a couple dollars, so $12 total. And they went ahead and took care of that for me. So yeah, I'm super sad to see it go because it was my favorite piercing, and you know, I'm gonna miss it a lot, but it just wasn't happy and it looked horrible. Like, I would rather have no dermal than have in a dermal that looks infected and nasty and upset, because nothing looks grosser than having a body piercing that, you know, red and pussy and people asking you if it's infected and stuff. So that was definitely a good decision on my part. I don't regret it. If you live in the San Diego area, go check them out. They were really cool. And yeah, I got a little souvenir. Thought I would show you guys. Isn't that fucking nasty? But you can see this huge circle. Like, I got the small end out and I didn't know what type of dermal they ended up putting in. So that huge circle right there was what was filled with the scar tissue. That made it a little bit difficult for me to remove the dermal myself. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny that they gave me this. And that's what it looks like for everyone who asked. My mom thought that was fascinating because, you know, I've had my dermal for 2.5 years. But people don't really know, like, what's going on underneath because, you know, it's just sitting there. So here you go. If you're wondering how dermals work, you're looking at it. But yeah, so I'm super sad about that. I am considering getting it redone, you know, obviously once it heals up and stuff. But we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, I just wanted to keep you guys updated. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are all doing good. If you have any questions, just, you know, send me a message, write it in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.